microphony.
And a phony at the mic.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show, starring Bob Lutz.
You think I'm some dummy off the street? My era's everything. I cover
your
all
era.
eras. My nickname, Mr. Era.
Jeff Lutz.
I've been around for 34 years. Longer than most people.
34 years to me is, that happened yesterday, not in your lifetime.
There's no alternate history where that could have been achieved.
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
We are back. It's hour number 2, the Bob and Jeff Show on KFH Radio. Bob Lutz, Jeff Lutz. Mike Furch's joining us for Top 10 Wednesday. Max Power producing engineering. Hello, Mike.
Howdy.
So you're out there doing that camping thing still, right? You're out there toughing it out.
I come in, pretty much. I come into the house to do the call for the show today. The cell coverage is not guaranteed. The cell coverage is not guaranteed at Lake Afton.
Well, I hope you're having a good time out there. I commend you for that.
Yeah, I'm so far having a pretty good time. It's going to be getting even better as I'm going to be doing some fishing and whittling.
There you
go.
go.
I don't even know what whittling is.
I doubt it.
I don't even know what fishing is, Mike.
Jeff's never held a fishing pole.
Hey, I'm excited.
I believe that's
Saturdays.
accurate, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're kidding. Won't you come out when you get a chance, and then we'll go fishing.
We throwing them back?
It depends on how big they are and if they're edible.
There you go.
Well, I'm throwing them
back.
Well, you're
how many
certainly entitled to do that.
Yeah.
What's your topic for Top 10 Wednesday?
Top 10 Labor Day memories or moments.
All
Labor
right.
Day moments.
I'm doing my top 10 favorite things about my dog, Misty. And, Jeff, you're doing songs 81 to 90.
Movies.
Oh, movies, 81 to 90, as we continue down that road. First, before we get to top 10, I got to ask you, Mike, and I doubt you've had a chance to see it, the finale of Justified City Primeval.
I have not seen it as of yet. I've been watching it.
Well,
I think I've got 2 episodes and I'm done. So
get ready. I can't wait to talk to you about it.
Okay. I may. If I had better cell coverage, I'd have already had it done and caught up on it. But it's kind of hard when I can't get cell coverage to watch it. So I'll definitely let you know. Yeah.
All right, let's get started. Jeff, you'll go first.
Why do I have to go first?
Your 90th favorite movie of all time.
This one stars Eddie Murphy. It stars Martin Lawrence. It stars the late, great Bernie Mac. The movie's called Life.
Don't think I've seen it, Mike.
Really?
I don't think I've seen that one either.
What?
No.
You've got to be kidding me.
No.
Don't think I've seen it.
That's crazy.
I'll look it up. See if I can find it on the discount window at Walmart.
Where they're wrongfully sentenced to life in prison. It's hilarious, and you need to watch it.
I'll have to look into that. Number 10 on my list of my favorite things about my dog, our dog, Misty. She knows we're talking about her. She's down here. Is her obedience. It's not always front and center, but for the most part, she'll listen and she'll oblige.
She knows you're talking about
I love that about her. And that's number 10 on my list of my favorite things about Misty.
She knows you're talking about her, and she thinks she's in trouble. Look at her.
Number 89, Jeff, on your list.
Well, did we get to Mike?
Oh, yeah, Labor Day traditions for you, Mike.
Well, these are moments for Labor Day.
Okay.
I'm a blue-collar guy. For people that don't know me, I have a deep appreciation for blue-collar workers. So number 10 on my list has to be the men and the women in this country who clock in. If you've ever had a job where you clock in, you know what I'm talking about. But those are people that drive and keep America going, and I'm grateful for them. So it's the men and women who clock in.
The only job I had where I actually clocked in was at the Dairy Queen in Derby. I put a punch card and a time clock, and that's how that worked. Yeah. But during all my years at the Wichita Eagle, I never clocked in.
Yeah.
Most of my jobs have been clocking in, but I don't have to clock in anymore.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Number 89 on your list of your favorite all-time movies.
We're going to get a lot of Drew Barrymore in this grouping of 10 movies somehow is how it worked out. This is one you probably also haven't seen. Co-stars, I believe the kid's name is Justin Long, and it's called Going the Distance.
Don't know it.
I haven't.
Mike?
I have actually seen that movie. It's not a bad,
good movie,
not a bad movie. Yeah, it's not a bad movie at all. So
Well, there you go.
I like Drew Barrymore, so I'm anxious to hear the rest of Drew Barrymore stuff. So
Yeah,
I like Drew Barrymore as well.
She's front and center.
Number 9 on my list of my favorite things about Misty is when she decides she wants to play with a ball. The balls are all down here in the family room. And when she decides she wants to play with a ball, she goes and grabs it in her mouth, and she drops it so that it bounces. And then she starts to get up on her hind. It's hilarious.
She is so confused right now. Why are you doing that to the poor dog?
So when she plays with her ball, it's a highlight and one of my favorite things about her.
Me too.
Mike, number 9 on your list.
number 9, it's always the starting week, or it seems to be the starting week of the state fair. So the first weekend of September usually is when the fair starts, and it's also Labor Day weekend. So the state fair, which is starting this week, and I'll be there on Monday.
Does it start? Now wait a minute.
It's next week.
Are you
next
sure
weekend.
it starts? Yeah,
Yeah,
there
I'm
you
thinking,
go.
Yeah, it starts next weekend. But I'm always thinking of the state. It's right around the time of the state fair. So I enjoy the fair.
Yeah, it usually starts the second Friday of the month of September.
Correct.
And that's one of your Labor Day things around Labor Day that you enjoy.
Yes.
All right, number 9 for me. Oh, I already did number 9, didn't I?
I don't know. Did you?
Number 8
Yeah.
for you, Jeff.
Yeah, you did. You did yours.
Number 88 on your list of your favorite movies as we begrudgingly count down your top 100.
My 88th favorite movie of all time is Gran Torino, starring Clint Eastwood.
I'm surprised that made it.
I'm surprised it made it too, but that's an interesting movie.
Wow.
It's a good movie.
It's Clint Eastwood at his best.
And
As a racist?
I think he directed that as well.
I think you're right.
Which made it even better. I mean, he's turned out to be a very fine director as well as an actor.
Not the last we'll be hearing of Clint Eastwood.
Oh, interesting.
On the list. He will not be mentioned
Most
again
of his
today.
movies came before you were paying attention.
Well, a couple of them didn't.
Number 8 on my list of my favorite things about Misty, just her barking. She barks. I've often said to my wife, if I had $5 for every time Misty has barked since we got her, I'd be a multi-millionaire.
Well, she is a dog.
Right, but she barks an abnormal amount of time, which I happen to enjoy. Many times she'll just get in front of us and bark. And we'll egg it on, of course. But at the very first, the first week or two we had her, we asked somebody, is this normal? Should she be barking like this? And their response was, well, you need to get a little water bottle and gently spray a little water, and that'll cause her to stop. Well, we tried it, and it had no effect. So we've just accepted the barking, and we've come to love it.
Of course.
Number 8 for you, Mike, your Labor Day favorite things.
So a lot of these are going to overlap, but they're individual things. We used to make homemade ice cream on Labor Day all the time, and there's nothing like homemade ice cream. And in the South, we always did vanilla or peach. And fresh peach homemade ice cream is so good. So number 8 on my list for Labor Day memories and moments is homemade ice cream with the
It
crank.
seems like homemade ice cream has made about 12 of your lists.
I love homemade. I think it's made about 3 of them for sure. But I definitely love homemade ice cream. Did you ever try the peach? I think you said something. We said something about you trying.
My dad always made vanilla, and it was always great. And I really never had an inkling that you could do peach. Are you making some homemade ice cream out at the campsite?
I think I'm going to make some out there. Get me I've actually got a little thing that I can make it with, so I think I'm going to make some out at the campsite.
All right,
That'd be a good activity this weekend.
Jeff, number 87 on your list of all-time favorite movies.
Counting down from 100. So only 8 more weeks of this to go. Number 87 is Friday, starring Ice Cube and Chris Tucker.
Now, I have seen Friday,
Mike?
and Friday's good. I have seen Friday. Friday's really good. That maybe would make my top 100, probably in about the same place as Jeff. So, very enjoyable movie. I
there you
love
go.
Ice Cube
Yeah, I
as
had
well.
several moments with Friday when I was like 14, probably. Watched it all the time.
Number 7 on my list of my favorite things about my dog is how photogenic she is. I put a lot of pictures of her out on Facebook, and I take a lot more than I put out. But I always like the reaction we get when we post a photo of Misty. She's a popular dog in this community. I'll just say that.
She's pretty cute.
I see her now.
Mike, number 7 on your list of Labor Day things.
This is, again, it's one of those things that's going to overlap with others. But grilling out hamburgers and hot dogs. You just got to have me a fried or grilled cheeseburger with a hot dog on the side. And then sometimes I'll just get just the weenie from the hot dog and have that too. So grilled out hamburgers and hot dogs.
Nothing like putting a hamburger and a hot dog on your plate, right? With a little
Best.
potato salad and
Yeah.
You lost me there.
And no, I don't use no gas or propane. I'm not Frank Hill or whatever his last name
Hank
is or
Hill.
first name is, Hank Hill. I'm a charcoal guy, so nothing like it. It tastes so good.
Well, we understand that.
Yeah.
Number 86, all-time favorite movies.
Let's go back to that Drew Barrymore well. I just wish this movie ended differently, and then it would probably be much higher. 50 First Dates.
50 First Dates. I have seen that movie.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Mike, did
it was
you
a
like
really
it?
good movie. I really liked 50 First Dates. It's a good movie. I
don't
like
know
the
anyone who
concept
doesn't
behind
It's
like
a
everything.
long time since I saw it.
Yeah, you might need to watch
It's
it again.
fine. Number 6 on my list of my favorite things about Misty is her appetite. When the food goes down, she goes after it. There's never much hesitation. She doesn't shy away from eating ever. And, it's fun to... I like that about her. Is that okay?
Sure.
The kid
Yeah,
can do no
yeah.
wrong.
Oh, yeah, that's how most people feel about their pets, I would imagine.
Number 6 on your list, Mike, of the things you associate most with Labor Day.
Well, this is definitely a memory here. I don't think kids today understand it. But I was having this conversation with someone last week. When I was growing up, school never started until after Labor Day, and it was the last hoorah for the summer. But I remember school starting after Labor Day, not before it.
Those were the days.
That's pretty
Yeah.
wild how early school starts now.
But
Yeah.
nobody had air conditioning. So once you got air conditioning in most of the schools now, there's really no reason not to have it a little bit
unless
during the
you're like-
hotter months and get you out of there a little earlier in the spring.
Unless you're like some of the schools
Well, it's
last
done.
week where it broke down and they had to cancel school. The heating system, the cooling system
Yeah.
broke down. They had to cancel. So
That
anyway,
might
that
not be
was
the
never
last
much of
time
an
that
issue.
happens either.
I don't think so.
You ready to do your
Where are we?
number 5 or number 6 for you?
Number 6 for me. I already did that.
All right, then we've done. 10 through
We've
6.
gone through our
First 5.
5 of our lists of top 10s, and we'll take a break and come back and finish these lists. Mike Furchess with us, not currently on the lake at Lake Afton, but headed back that way after our segment sometime, right, Mike?
Yeah, probably about 7 o'clock. I got some business to take care of, but yeah, I'll be going back.
There you go. We'll be back momentarily.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
501 in Los Angeles. Do you like good music? That sweet soul music. Just go to this sweet.
Sweet Soul Music, Arthur Connolly. That's a great one. As we continue down our path of sweet songs as a musical theme. All right, Mike Furchess with us as we continue with Top 10 Wednesday. He's doing some of his favorite Labor Day traditions or time of the year around Labor Day. I'm going with my favorite things about my dog, Misty. And
I'm going with my 10 favorite Cole Calhoun moments.
There's only been one.
There's been several.
He must have done something in extra innings.
Hit a 3-run homer.
Oh, there you go. We'll see if they can hold on now.
We'll see.
Bottom of the 10th. You're doing your continued countdown of your top 100 movies. We're in the 80s right now with you, and we'll get to you with number 85, your most favorite movies.
Curious to see what Mike thinks of this one, and you too to some degree, but I don't know if you've even seen the movie, to be honest. Dumb and Dumber.
Of course I've seen it.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
It's a good movie.
We talked about it on the air before.
Yes, we have, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's hilarious. It's an absolutely hilarious movie, and it's sophomoric humor at its best. That's what I would say about it, Jeff.
Absolutely.
I would agree with that, because usually I'm not a huge fan of sophomoric humor, but yeah, in that movie it's done perfectly. So sophomoric humor at its best.
Yeah.
Number 5 for me, my favorite thing about our dog is the way she greets not only us, which is incredible, but anyone who comes into our house. She makes them feel like they're the most special person in the world, and I know a lot of dogs do that, but Misty has a little bit of a personal touch with it, and that's number 5 on my list.
She is wondering what's going on with her name being said so often.
She's okay.
But we love her, and she's adorable.
She's okay. Number 5 for you, Mike, your Labor Day traditions.
It's a bittersweet moment, but it's the last summer fling. It's kind of like after Labor Day, everything's all downhill, or some people say uphill. But for me, after Labor Day, everything's downhill to the fall and then to the winter, and then thankfully before long spring comes around. But it's the last hurrah of summer. And
aren't we mostly tired of the heat, and aren't we kind of ready for a respite?
I'm not. I don't mind fall. I don't mind spring, but I do love summer. So, and now that I have air conditioning,
like the winter.
Now that I have air conditioning, I don't like the winter. No, it's not in Kansas. It's too cold.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff, number 84 now on your all-time movie list.
Number 84, Separate the Art from the Artist. It's a Woody Allen film. It's a recent, relatively Woody Allen film. Owen Wilson is in it. He's in a lot of my favorite movies for some reason. Midnight in Paris.
Yeah, that's a funny movie. I'm surprised Woody made your list, but
I
yeah.
like that movie.
Oh, there you go. He made a lot of good movies.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
Many before I was born,
Some
so
of the
I
classics.
wasn't able to see them.
Is it the last
well, you're
Woody
able
Allen
to.
movie on your
I
list?
don't know how to access it.
Mike, what do you think of a guy who won't look at any movies that came before 1982?
Well, he's missing out on so many great films. I mean, there's just I think of things like Ben-Hur. I think of Dr. Zhivago, and some of those movies of that nature. And there's a lot of great films. The Wizard of Oz, Gone with the Wind.
No,
The
I mean,
Sound of
I've
Music.
seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, only
Well.
because I forced you to.
I would probably have seen The Wizard of Oz one way or the
I
other.
forced you.
But they show It's a Wonderful Life on TV every year. Never seen it,
That's
How's
unbelievable.
that,
isn't it?
how's it even possible?
That's what I'm saying. How is that possible?
I
Well,
don't
that's
know.
not a badge of honor.
I'm not saying it's a badge of
No.
That's an
honor.
embarrassment.
Just never seen it.
That's an embarrassment.
And
Have you seen A Christmas
and to
Story?
quote, "It's a Wonderful Life." Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Anyway, continue.
That's
You
enough.
found that funny, Mike?
No, that's a sarcastic, you gotta be crazy giggle. It's like the laughter is that the lunacy of Jeff at times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's frustration.
That's how it gets you, though.
You know, laughing can happen with a lot of different emotions.
It sure can. It doesn't have to be. Yeah.
Rarely with Jeff is it because he's funny.
But it still
where
comes
are
out,
we?
right?
Where are we?
I don't know.
I
You?
think we're
Number
at May.
4 on my list.
Yeah,
Are we at number
4.
5 on your list, Mike? Where are we,
We did
Jeff?
5.
What'd
We're
you
at
just
4.
say?
Mike already
4.
did 5. You're on 4, and then he's doing 4. Midnight in Paris.
You just did 84.
Yeah.
My fourth favorite thing about Misty is taking her for either a walk or a ride. She gets so excited when those two things happen. And then when the ride happens, she just sits in the car. Not really a whole lot going on. But
Enjoying the
You don't bark or
surroundings.
whimper?
she does enjoy that.
Does she not bark or whimper when she's riding around the car?
She does not.
Does she know when she's going to the
unless
vet?
she sees a dog. And when we pull into the vet, she starts to shake,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate. But then we go inside and she goes nuts. So it's quite an adventure with this girl. Number 4 for you, Mike, on your
Number
list
4.
of your Labor Day things that stand out to you.
Anyone that has ever worked in a factory will know about this. And if you've never done it, I mean, you may or may not, but the company picnic at Labor Day. A lot of companies will shut down Labor Day, and they have a big company picnic. I remember going to those with my mom, and then there was a period of time in my life early on when I worked in a factory, and we did that as well. And they're special moments where families get together from who you work with, and usually the company pays for the meat and that type of thing, and you bring the sides. But the company picnic, I love those. They were a lot of fun.
My thought on that is that haven't you seen enough of these people during the week?
But you're not.
I'm
drinking
sorry
a
to
cold,
be so jaded.
But you're not drinking a cold brew with homemade desserts and especially that homemade ice cream.
Homemade ice cream.
Yeah, there you
yes.
go. I knew it had to tie into that.
It makes everything better.
Jeff, number 83 on your movie list.
Going to be surprised that this one isn't higher, I guess, on the list. Later on the list. Shrek. Number
That is
83.
kind of interesting. Only 83.
Only 83.
Oh, that's all right. Number 3 on my list of my favorite things about our dog Misty is we're really a family of habit here. So each night there's a woman, and there's a bunch of dogs and people who walk by here, but there's a particular woman who has 2 bigger dogs and then a little dog kind of trailing that's not on a leash, but this little dog never looks anywhere but straight ahead, no matter what's going on. And she follows the 2 bigger dogs and this woman, and she goes down the block and then she comes back up the block. So Misty gets 2 opportunities to go crazy when she sees these dogs walking by. And the woman waves to Misty, and it's part of our evening.
It's a nice little tradition.
Part of our evening.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we love it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Number 3 for you, Mike, Labor Day follies.
A lot of Labor Day stuff. At least this will be the last one that has to do with eating. But the family cookout. You know, after I wasn't working in the factories or anything anymore, our family we always had the cookout. We'd go to the lake and we'd do the hamburgers and the hot dogs. And guess what we'd have? For
Didn't you already
dessert, Bob?
mention the hamburgers and the hot dogs?
Well, but this
Doesn't
was
matter.
the picnic with this is the picnic with the family. The picnic with the
Well,
family.
who was
out
the
at
other
lake is
picnic with?
That was with the company picnic where you work at.
That was
No, there was another picnic.
there was another hot dog and hamburger thing.
Yeah,
For the
there
last
There was another.
But there's the hamburger and hot dogs was at number 7. That's you do that in the backyard. That's not out on a picnic. Picnic, you go out someplace, and we would
Okay,
go to
but
the
the
usually we would go
backyard
to the
thing's
lake.
not necessarily with family.
That's correct.
but it probably is.
Not
We're picking
always.
on you, Mike.
No. I know you are. That's okay. Misty will take up for me, Misty.
Number 82, Jeff, on your list of your all-time favorite movies.
Back to Drew and Adam Sandler, The Wedding Singer.
That's a good one.
Fantastic movie.
The
I
opening of
enjoyed
that
that
is really the opening is a lot of fun in that movie.
Yeah,
The
it's
first
all pretty
couple
good.
things. Yeah, it's good.
Number 2 on my list of my favorite things about our dog is watching her with my wife. She and Debbie have an incredible, loving relationship. And since I'm home with Misty a lot during the day, Misty starts to check out the garage door, the entrance to the back door, about 5 hours before Debbie comes home. So that's always entertaining. But when Debbie comes home, it's a free-for-all. Absolute free-for-all.
She's ready.
All right, Jeff, number 81.
Did we get to Mike?
Oh, my. I keep doing that. Mike, number 2 on your list of cookouts. Number 2 on your list of Labor Day fun.
The next two are Labor Day moments or memories, and they could be emotional. My mother and I were estranged for most of our lives, and we made up the year that she died. We made up, but my mother was the first woman, and I think of this, and I think of labor, but she was the first woman inducted into the United Steelworkers Hall of Fame. And I usually post that as a Facebook picture, and we'll post that after the thing today of her getting her induction into the United Steelworkers Hall of Fame. And the fact that she was the first woman inducted, even though we were estranged, I learned to appreciate the value of unions and standing up for the working man and woman through her. So I'm greatly appreciative of that, and that's my number 2.
That is very cool. Jeff, at 81 on your all-time top 100 movie list is...
I might lose some people here, but one of my favorite Christmas movies stars the great Vince Vaughn, Fred Claus.
I have never seen Fred Claus.
Really?
I like
it's a good movie. Everyone else hates it, but I love it.
I like Fred Claus. I can't believe I made it into your top 100, maybe 150, but I still like it, though.
It's a good movie.
So, yeah, it is.
It shouldn't be in anyone's top 100.
Well, my top 100 is a little different.
When you eliminate 95% of the great movies of all time, it makes it a little bit easier, Bob.
Exactly. Thank you.
That's right. My number one favorite thing about Misty, we do a thing here called The Show. Jeff, I think, has seen it. It kind of got just kind of put together 3 or 4, maybe 5 years ago, where you get Misty excited. You mention to her something about doing a show. You take a toy upstairs. She jumps on the bed. She'll go crazy, barking and biting and twirling, and we call it The Show. And she's more than happy to perform for us at least a couple times a day.
Really?
And it's fantastic. We love The Show. Right, Misty? She says yes.
Yeah.
Finally, Mike, your number one favorite Labor Day thing.
Well, again, this goes back to a tribute to my mom. I posted a photograph of this at Facebook this morning. That she was number 2 being inducted in the Union Hall of Fame was one thing, but she was the first member of the United Steelworkers to ever have her casket draped with the United Steelworkers flag. And that shows that the president of the Steelworkers came to her funeral, and he requested that if we would drape her casket with the flag. So, again, she was a great woman and paid tribute to the working man and woman. Really fought for women's rights in the workforce and for equality, and so that's my number one memory.
All right, very good as always. Your lists are a lot of fun, even though this particular one included a lot of barbecuing in the backyard
and ice cream.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's what's meaningful.
We may invite you out to the lake on Sunday to have some hamburgers, hot dogs, and ice cream.
I think we'd take you up on that. So we'll see if that happens. And have a great time, Mike. We always appreciate you being on with us.
Thank you. Enjoy it, guys. And go Vols this weekend.
Right.
Okay.
There you go. There's our friend Mike Furchess. College football, as he alluded to, full force. Actually, starting, I believe we got games. I don't know if we have any games tomorrow, but certainly we do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So all that coming up this weekend. We'll talk more about it. 869-1240. We have a few moments remaining in the show. If you'd like to give us a call, we'd love to hear from you. We've talked high school football and college football during this segment. Jeff's team has pulled one out against the Minnesota Twins. Now to get to within 5 games of the Twins.
We got 3 with them next week. I might go to one of those if it matters in Cleveland. We'll see.
You're not going to go to one of those.
Yeah, we absolutely might.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that's just crazy.
We're going to Kent State. Why wouldn't we go to Cleveland?
Kent State's a long way from Cleveland.
How far?
Kent, Ohio is 2 hours from Cleveland.
You think?
That's my guess.
That seems like a lot. They're both in Northeast Ohio.
Kent's a little...
52 minutes.
Is that all, really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You can make that work, potentially.
I think so.
So, a lot of college football games on the docket this weekend. None of them really that must-see, are there?
I don't know. I don't know the schedule.
There are games tomorrow night, quite a few of them, in fact, including Florida-Utah, which is interesting. That's the big game tomorrow night. On Friday, you've got Louisville and Georgia Tech.
KU plays Friday, right?
You've got Kansas and Missouri State. And then on Saturday, you've got K-State, Southeast Missouri State. K-State debuts on these airwaves.
That's lovely.
K-State football. You can hear every game right here on KFH of the Wildcats this season. You got Colorado TCU. I'll be very curious about that game.
Yeah, I think TCU wins. A lot of people aren't super high on Colorado, even though they're
just
there
getting started.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Let's see what they do.
I don't know if they're just getting started, but they have 80 new players. So
right, they're just getting started.
That's not just getting started.
No, that's a bunch of new players just getting started in that program. And we'll see how it goes for Deion Sanders. I think he's more interested in building something for the long term. They may not be world beaters out of the gate, but...
Oh, I think the goal was to kind of be world beaters out of the gate.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen. They're
Bringing
unranked.
over his son and...
They're unranked.
Hunter
you don't turn over a roster like that and become world beaters out of the gate.
Whether you can
you
or...
just don't do that.
Whether you can or whether you're ranked.
It's not happening at
Can I
Colorado.
speak?
No, because you've delved into this nonsensical thought.
It's not a nonsensical
that you think
thought.
Colorado is expecting to be world beaters.
I didn't say they are now. I think going into the process, Deion, Coach Prime, as we have to call him, wanted to build a roster that would contend in the conference.
I'd like to see that in print where he said that.
Then why did he go in and say, "Hey, all you guys are gone. I'm bringing in my own guys"?
Because he wants to build a
You think
team.
he wanted to finish
He's building
5-8?
a program.
No,
That's
he's
why.
not building a program. He wanted to win immediately.
I want to see that in quotes.
You think
in a
you
conference
think Coach
where
Prime
USC
said, we might stumble?
No, he's trying to do well, but he's not under some guise that he thinks this is a conference contending team in
Whether
year
he's
one.
under the guys or not, that's
ridiculous.
The goal. I don't think it's a guise.
I want
to
it again. If I see the quote coming directly from Deion Sanders, then I'll buy into that. I doubt that he ever said that.
Well,
in a conference that includes Oregon, USC, that would be pretty foolish. He's got work to do. To think that he can do it all in one fell swoop would be naive. And
not necessarily
bombastic. And I'd ridicule him for that. So if you can find the quote, then right immediately after I hear that quote, I'm going to ridicule Prime.
He said,
Let's hear
some stuff.
What'd he say?
Here's what he said. Now that I've gotten here, I see it and understand it, and I can grasp it, and I can touch it, I can feel it, I can taste it. I truly understand what you want. All you want is the opportunity to win, to compete, to dominate, to be amongst the elite, to be amongst the best, and darn it, I'm going to give you that. It may not happen as quick as you desire, but it's going to happen.
What was that?
We're going
to
win.
It's
going to happen.
It may not what?
It's going. I'm not going to put a time. I'm not going to put a time.
Wait a minute.
But it's going to happen.
He's not putting a timetable.
I don't think he said that. That was kind of in parentheses.
So, there's a guy who's rational, level-headed,
But that was day one.
and going about it in the right way. Build a program. That's what it takes at that level. You will not go into a program like Colorado, which has been down for a little while, and immediately shake things up to where you're contending, transfer portal or not. And Deion Sanders understands that.
Well, maybe.
Unlike you.
I understand. I don't want to understand it.
Who
I
thought-
want to go in and win immediately. That's my, whether it's naive or not.
You wouldn't last 5 seconds.
I'm going to go dominate, just like I said I would.
But again, on this show, I think we pointed out once again that you're popping off.
Not once again, once. Just once.
That Deion Sanders, of course, didn't say we're going to be in contention. If
He
he
may not
is,
have
great.
said that, but he believes it.
If he is, well, I hope he believes it. He should believe it. He certainly shouldn't say it. And if you really pressed him on it, his understanding would be, okay, I'm not going to probably contend with the likes of USC and Oregon, but maybe when we get to the Big 12 next year, we can start to make those inroads, and the Big 12's up for grabs. Colorado is as viable as any other school in the Big 12 to eventually be a kingpin in that conference.
Maybe. It's been a long, long time since they've been a kingpin of anything.
They used to be really good.
40 years ago.
No, not that long ago.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
I covered the Big 8 and the Big 12.
Okay, but
they were darn good then.
They weren't a kingpin.
They were darn good then.
What was it, 90 when they won the national championship?
No, they were really good in the fairly recent past under Bill McCartney and some of those people.
Rick Neuheisel.
Rick Neuheisel had some really good years there. Again, you couldn't be more misguided on
you said
Colorado.
Kingpin, not really good.
I said they could
So
be a
this
kingpin
guy-
in the Big 12.
and
I never said they were a kingpin in the Big 12 previous.
And I said it's been a long time since
they've been
a
a
kingpin.
really good program.
And you argued with me.
They've been a really good program. They had some really good teams.
Far short of a kingpin, in my
Well,
opinion.
give us their records.
Well, I'm going to try
I know
to.
you're trying to support your argument.
They won a national championship again in 1990.
Okay, that's
Their conference championships, their last one is in 2001. So it's been 20-plus years since they've
but
won.
what have been their yearly records?
I don't have their yearly
Well,
records.
that's
I
too
have
bad.
conference championships.
That's too bad. That would indicate that the yearly records wouldn't support your.
I'm not looking
Search.
at the yearly records. I don't have here's some yearly records. I was looking up their conference championships. Going back, they were 1-11, 4-8, 4-2 in the COVID year, 5-7, 5-7, 10-4 in 2016, 4-9, 2-10, 4-8, 1-11, 3-10, 5-7, 3-9, 5-7, 6-7, 2-10, 7-6, 8-5, 5-7, 9-5, 10-3. So they've been terrible more often than not. And even before that, 3-7.
They were really good in there in the 89 until about 2001. Then they had a year in 2006 where they were really good. They've had some years.
In 2006,
No, they weren't good in 2006.
2-10.
But from what year am I looking at here? From 89 through 02, outstanding program. And that was Bill McCartney and Rick Neuheisel. Gary Barnett had a good couple of years. So, yeah, they've fallen on hard times. That's why.
I wouldn't say
That's
8-3,
why.
5-6, 8-4, 7-5, 3-8, which are some of the
That's
years.
why it's going to take Deion Sanders some time to rebuild. Well, starting in 89, 88 they were 8-4. Then
Right.
11-1, 11-1, 8-3-1, 9-2-1, 8-3-1, 11-1, 10-2, 10-2. Those are pretty good years.
And that's where it stops. So 89 and 96, yes, and then they've had a random okay season.
No,
every
they were
now and then.
8-4, 7-5. They had
Yeah,
a
that's
bad
not
year at
8-4.
3-8, 10-3, 9-5. That's been a good program, and it's been a good program. It's not a good program at the moment, and we'll see if Deion Sanders can change their fortunes. Understandably, he knows it won't happen immediately. They've been They've been in a bad spot
Went through
for
a bunch
while.
of coaches. Just not. I don't know. We'll see.
but I've covered several games in Boulder.
Yeah, that was a long time
And
ago
it
is what
was-
I'm trying to say.
It was a great atmosphere, and they had really good teams.
And it's been a long time.
I don't care if it's been
I know
a long
20 years
It hasn't been that long.
20 years is a long time.
They've had viability.
They haven't.
Yeah, they have.
Not in the last 20 years they haven't.
That's a good addition to the Big 12. Coming home, there's a big upside with
We'll see.
Colorado football. They're hungry. We'll see what happens.
We will.
And again, I'll tell you off the air what I think about your discussion here.
Why?
Because I will.
No, I'm going to go
I
home.
just will.
I'm just going to go home then.
I'm going to tell you. You won't have time to go home.
I'll have time.
You won't have time to get out the door before I tell you.
I'm going to get out.
All right. Thanks for listening today, everybody. We'll be back here tomorrow. More football talk. We'll preview KU football, and we'll also talk about the Bishop Carroll Golden Eagles. Have a good night.